Mr. Gorimbo, how are you?
I'm amazing, my man, as you can see. Good to see you again, Alex.
Good to see you as well. It's less than 24 hours since your fight, man. How are you feeling?
Is it 24 hours? I think it's more than 24 hours now.
Well,
Just over, yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
You
I fought around 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah, I'm sure I'm pretty accurate on that. Yeah, I feel good. It's a good feeling. Like winning now feels normal again, and I believe this is gonna continue. You know. Yeah, I feel good, my brother. It's an amazing journey. You know, from the first time to now to what's coming. It's a beautiful journey.
Now that you've had some time to just think about the fight, obviously it didn't last long, right? So how do you feel about the fight in general?
Yeah, it didn't last long to the crowd, but it lasted long for me in terms of my preparation. You know, I trained for this fight since June last year, and everybody's been asking, why is Themba not fighting? Why is Themba not fighting? Obviously, I also had to go back home to Africa and sort out what I had to sort out and come back. And when I came back, the cards were already full. And it's not up to me to decide when I fight. I have to wait for the UFC to give me the fight when they think I must fight, you know. And everybody, you know, it was not nice as well because it's too much, you know, like having to answer to everybody. If you saw, there were times and points where I had to remove my comment section because people will be like, oh, when are you fighting? Then it's like, yes, even when like some people are so lazy to check. Like you post when you're fighting with the date, but someone will just write on when are you fighting, because obviously it was becoming too much like you're in the media because everything with the Rock and everything, and then on top of that there's no fights that is happening, and then the year ends and now everybody wants you to fight and want to see you fight to see if you are really for real or what, you know, or you're just a lucky guy that just got a house from the Rock, you know. So it was a little bit of hard, like it not a little bit. It was a lot of hard work. I've been training for this fight since June last year, and it lasted 30 seconds, which it should have even been less, because I believe I worked harder than the guy, and I believe I worked harder than. I don't want to say broadly, but I think I'm the hardest working UFC fighter. I believe so.
You said you predicted what you were gonna do. You said you're gonna knock him out. I know that when we had talked, even right like the week the fight got announced, you were already saying like, I think I want to knock this guy out. I'm so trained to do it. Were you surprised that it happened, or was it just you planned on it and it happened?
You know what? When it happened, I didn't really like think of it much, but I know now. Before I kind of believed. But I know now, it's like a sure thing. I know I hit very hard. Before I would hit, because you know, like you don't know really how hard you hit until you hit hard, and without trying. And I know I hit hard. If I touch you with my jab, if I touch you with my right, you're going down. And if you look in the UFC, every time I've landed a clean shot, guys go down. And I know how hard I hit, and I believe that, you know, I am so sharp now. And I am now primed. I'm in my prime right now. I'm primed for everything and everyone, and you know, the sky is not the limit. I knew it was something. I knew directly that it was going to happen. I knew I was going to knock this guy out. Whether it was anyone on that night, I was going to knock him out.
Is it the power of Africa, the African power?
Not the African power. It's just like a self-belief thing for me. And don't get me wrong, because you know sometimes people say that once you knock someone out, you become addicted to knocking people out. I'm going to still fight the way I always fight. I'll win however way necessary. But yeah, man, in terms of African power, I don't know, but I think I have that. I've got the mystic mamba magic.
Ooh, I like it. And I know that you were very happy that Pete took the fight because your last opponent pulled out after he was talking so much shit. So I guess, you know, is that fight of your past opponent, do you think you're past him now?
The guy is from Ireland. He talks a lot. He talked a lot. Peter, bless my brother, that guy, he took the fight on short notice. He showed up, didn't even say anything. He just showed up to fight, and he's Mexican, he's tough. But with Zimbabweans, we are even way tougher than, everybody. Yeah, man, I don't want to talk about the other guy because he's irrelevant. He's coming off a loss. The only reason why he was in that position to try and fight, they were trying to get me to fight him, is because, they were just sending him to lose, so that it can build my power towards where I want to get. Yeah, man, if I'll fight everybody, but I know that after this, what happened on Saturday, knowing where I am right now, I'm getting a bigger contract in terms of in the UFC, with everything that has been happening. So I think with a bigger contract, they might want me to fight bigger names, right? But if anyone shows up on my contract and in the UFC says this is the guy you will fight, yes, I will show up and show off just like I did yesterday.
Biggest question is, and it would not only I thought it, I think every single UFC fan thought it. You did not get a bonus for your 30-second knockout. How disappointed are you?
I will never be disappointed in the UFC. I'm a blessed man to be fighting in the UFC. But yeah, I think I deserve it. Deserving is a big, broad statement. What I would say is that I think on the card yesterday, with the things that were happening, honestly, the bonus was supposed to come to me. Respect to everyone that finished their fights, but I had the fastest finish on the card. Some people say, oh, early stoppage, but did you see when Peter woke up? He was holding on to Hebdin's leg. That just tells you where he was as a person, and nothing but respect for him. It's not something that I'm trying to diss him or anything. So it's something that probably they will do me right on my next contract. Yeah, man, I know the position where I am in the UFC. It's a blessing to be here, and I'm happy, man. I'm not disappointed with anything. If anything, I'm actually super happy because maybe I was gonna, I don't know. Let's see what will happen.
But were you shocked that you didn't get the bonus?
I was disappointed when I saw the bonuses coming out. Then I was not there because I knew I kind of like was certain that I think, but I kind of like jinxed myself though, to be honest, because Molly McMahon, she came to me before the fights at the weigh-ins. She says to me, "Hey Themba, let's go, let's win, let's get this bonus." And I said to her, "Hey, my friend," he says, "let's get the 50 Gs." And I said to her, "Hey Molly, I'm just here to win the 50 Gs." No, so I kind of put it in the universe that I didn't want the 50 Gs, and the universe replied to me and say, "Okay, cool, you refused it yesterday. Yeah, it is." Yeah, and she came to me, honestly, I kind of jinxed myself as a person because I said to her, "Molly, I'm just here to win, the 50 Gs, I'm not gonna be going after that." The day before the fight, you can ask her, and she says, yeah, let's do it, my friend. And yeah, I kind of jinxed myself as a person, and it's me to blame. And also, again, come to it, control what you can control.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't make the decisions.
So during your post-fight interview, you shared what The Rock texted you before the fight. You didn't tell us what he said after the fight. Can you tell me now what he said after the fight?
Yeah, man, people put me on the spot, especially with the Rock stuff, because DJ is a man that really is supporting me. He wants me to do well, whether it's in MMA or in life. He wants me to do well. He wants me to go as far as I can, because you know what, each one pick one. He has picked me to help me elevate me to a position where I am right now, and maybe one day I can be doing the same thing for somebody, which is called pay it forward, right? Like he always say. He sent me the message. No, he called me after the fight. We had a call, I think like 30-minute, 40-minute call, first time, which was a great thing, to have a call from him and having to chat to him and talk to him about the plans on what's happening, what will happen, and everything. You know, most important thing, he just said to me, hey, because after the show, we went straight away to the PI. We wanted to go and kind of do some training there because my teammates didn't go to the PI the whole week. I don't go to the PI fight week. I've got a rule now. I don't go to the PI, not because of anything. It's just because I'm a guy who likes to give energy. When I see people, I'm giving energy, and if I give too much energy away leading up to a fight, by the time I get to the fight day, I'll be empty. So I try not to go to the PI because everyone in the PI loves me, and when they see me, they are always Themba, then I'm always Themba back, you know. And I'll be removing energy out of my batteries for what is needed, that is for the fight. So I try to only go to the PI straight after the fight. It's a lesson that I learned with my first fight, and with every time I go to the PI, I also always feel like my battery is taken, because you know what, the people at the PI love me and I love them back, and then I'll be giving energy back, and by the time I leave there, I'll be a little bit empty because, you know, I've given away a lot of energy, and I try to reserve my energy for the PI. And he saw us going to the PI, and he's like, Themba, you need to enjoy a little bit. I say, yeah, we will enjoy. I'll eat pizza, I'll drink some Coca-Cola, which I did. And we went out with my friends, my teammates, last night to the club that I was signed at. For those that don't know, XS, that's where I was signed at. I didn't party. We went there just for the memory. I told my friends, I'm like, this is the place where I got signed to the UFC, kind of like contender series, then to the UFC. But yeah.
I did notice you were very zoned in during fight week. You were just zoned in, didn't have anything. I guess, was that just because of, like, I guess, did you feel like you had pressure on your shoulders because of all this rock stuff, or was it just you had a mission to do and you were kind of zoned in?
Oh, I got pressure on myself. I put pressure on myself as a person because, you know, I work so hard and I have a standard that I have to live up to for myself, firstly. And then, my brother, you know, I am 33 right now. I just turned 33 like a week ago. I'm in my prime. I must make the most of this now. You know, I'm in my prime for the next 2 years, right? And I must make the most of this right now. And if I don't make the most of this right now and try to come here and play around and be a guy that is just wandering around like a lost kid, I will not be able to look myself in the mirror and say, I gave it my all. That's why, like, when I come here now, I'm here to do business. I'm here to do damage. I'm a very nice guy sometimes, and sometimes I feel sorry for my opponent. Sometimes I want to just win without hating people, but a blessing is that I'm not understanding this game. You know, like even before the fight with Peter, when I was backstage, when I went to the toilet, because I knew I was gonna knock him out, I kind of felt bad that I was gonna knock him out. Then I said to myself, I had to remind myself, I said, hey, listen here, don't feel sorry for him. He's getting paid at least. He could be at home right now without getting paid money at all. So go out there and do your job. So that's where I am at mentally now, where I'm here to do a job, and the job is to win in spectacular fashion, because by doing that creates what I want. That is the belt.
I like that. So I wanted to ask you, is obviously the casual audience probably know you more because of your connection to The Rock, right? So,
which is a blessing.
Well, yeah, which is a blessing, right?
Yeah, because not many people are in this position, and I should never take that for granted.
Right. So with that being said, I guess, like, do you want to be known as Themba, the fighter that's signed with, like, that's connected to The Rock, or like, do you want to make your name bigger, that like you're not as connected? Like, do you want the fans to, like, the first thing that they think about you is your connection with The Rock, right?
No, I cannot undo that. It's already there. It's a connection that is there forever. I'm the guy that Dwayne Johnson bought a house in Miami to be able to train fully without having any stress, because he was once in that position, and that connection is there forever. I cannot undo that. But what I can do is, I can do my job in the cage. I can do my job in the gym, train hard, put my best foot forward every single day, go out there, people can try to write me off and be like, because like most of the people that your question was on the positive side, so let me try to answer it on the positive side. I am forever gonna be that guy that was helped by DJ to be in this position, and I'm super grateful for it forever, because one day I'm gonna do the same thing for somebody, right? But I know a lot of people, when they comment and they say stuff that they say, it's not out of knowledge. It's mostly out of self-hate, or mostly out of self-reflection, where they wish to be in that position and they feel like I shouldn't be here. Whereas my brother, like I always say, this life is designed before we were born. If you know where I come from, if anybody knows where I come from, it's unheard of to be right here, right now in America, and to be able to be in the position where I am with the rock. We can all think we are great at things, we are a certain type of people, but the reality is, this is God, this is miracle. And even himself, DJ, when he talks to me, he says those things. He says, brother, God blessed you to be here. You understand? Because he has never even done that before for anybody. Do you understand? He tells me every single time when he sends me a message, at the end of the message, he says, don't forget, you still need to work. And I'm not the guy that you have to remind to work, but it's a good thing, because he always reminds me, don't forget, you still need to put in the work. And I'm a guy that works hard, and when he does say those things, I work even harder. So for those that want to say and project me in a different way, they're like, oh, this is us, the God that help. So like I see, I'm the guy that read most of the comments when I have time. I see a lot of people think I'm mediocre and all that. To be in the UFC is a hard thing. To win a fight in the UFC, I might have lost. Like, everybody is writing me off because they say, oh, the guy that lost to AJ Fletcher, he has got followers on his record. But if I go on and describe you how did I lose those fights with AJ, yes, AJ Fletcher, I think that was my first. I've lost 3 times before AJ, but that was my first actual welterweight loss for me, and it was a blessing. It was the best loss of my career. Why? Because without that loss, I would not have moved to Miami. I would not have been in this position where DJ helped me. I would be still in Africa. You think DJ was gonna fly to Africa to help me? You think if I won that fight, I was gonna have the $7? I was gonna be in the position where I was broke, to be sick, and then to get the position to post about the $7 and stuff, which I didn't post to get the attention from The Rock. I just posted to inspire people that, hey guys, I was broke this morning, now I just made money in the evening. I wanna go back to it. Like, where was I? I was talking about sorry, my head is spinning. Like, what did I just say?
You were just saying, like, you see people say mediocre.
Yeah, they say mediocre, and then coming back to the losses. If I'm gonna have to describe the losses that I have, I'm gonna tell you, the first loss I've ever had was a lightweight, and I'm a big waterweight right now. As I am, I'm a big waterweight, right? And then I used to fight a lightweight. I never did things right then, and I had a loss, which was another blessing. But I've never, at waterweight, it's very hard to beat me. I believe this. And it was a lightweight. I lost that fight, which is a blessing, because that's when I met my wife, because I was just a nomad guy living under the cage, never did anything, train, go and sleep under the cage, train and go sleep under the cage. And God saw that, hey, you need someone in your life, and you need to take it easy, because all I did was train and focus on fighting. And I had the loss, and I had to reflect on life and be like, and God made me my wife. Then it was a blessing, right? Look at us now. Then the second loss, that was to, I think I lost to Dave Mazani. I lost to Dave Mazani, not because he was a better fighter. I was still beating him at my 20% in that fight. But I was so sick in that fight. Even my teammates that were there before, it's not an excuse, he won. on paper he did, which is forever in the records. Wherever he is, probably celebrating. Oh, I beat that guy. Yeah, which is a great thing he did. But I was so sick and vomiting. I should not have fought that fight, but I fought that fight because I was the main event. They had flown him from America to come to Africa to fight me. And if imagine, I'm a prideful guy. You have to kill me to not fight. So I was just like, I need to go fight. I weighed in 73 kgs for that fight. It was a catchweight fight. By the fight night when I was fighting, instead of picking up weight to be like 77 or 80 kgs, I was 69 kgs, which means I was dehydrated, vomiting. I didn't even pass my urine was yellow. And I lost that fight, almost died, semi-retired from fighting because people told me, hey, Themba, you cannot do this. You cannot risk your life for peanuts. Because I was getting paid peanuts where I was, and the promotion I was, and didn't even pay my medical aid, my medical bills for me after the fight, you know. So I had to stop fighting. And the third loss that I had in Abu Dhabi, I dislocated my shoulder 28 seconds into the fight, which is not an excuse. You know, like people will look at it, the jealous ones and the one that choose to see negativity in everything, they look at it, oh, that's an excuse. No, I dislocated my shoulder, and I still lost on points. I didn't even stop. The guy couldn't finish me. And the guy was a veteran. He was 18-3, and I was just 9-2. And I fought him with one arm. The shoulder was only put back at like 2 a.m. after the fight. I dislocated the shoulder, and the fight, I was fight number 4, and my teammate was fighting the main event. I cornered him with a dislocated shoulder. Then after his fight, I went to the hospital to put back my shoulder. So like, people might look at that and be like, oh, whatever. But what is those losses to me is that they are there to inspire people in some way, somehow, that, oh, he's 12-4, but look at him, he's in the UFC. So there's a possibility that even if you're like this, you can be in the UFC. Maybe that's my path to inspire. Like my journey is to inspire a lot of people, which I will do. I'm gonna become a champion. You know, I know from that last fight to until I become the champion, nobody's gonna stop me. I can only stop me. I'm going to become the welterweight champion, whether they say whatever they want to say, they want to project whoever they want to project on me, they want to say X, Y, and Z, Themba still stands. I'm going to be the welterweight champion. My sounds like a lot, but Mystic Mamba predicts what he wants and he gets it.
Like you said, a long way off between your last fight and this fight. I'm guessing you want to return sooner than...
Yeah, I'm returning in May. It's already set. Yeah, I'm returning in May. It is life. You go out there, you win. I wanted to come back sooner, but it's life. I'm back in May. We do this again, win again, and maybe back in July. But one fight at a time.
Obviously, I asked you last night, you know, you said you don't care if it's in the Apex, you don't care if it's in someone's backyard, you know, you're just happy to be in the UFC. But deep down, like, you haven't had the full UFC experience yet, right? So do you hope that's next?
What is that like to have a full UFC experience?
The full UFC experience where you go out and fight in front of a sold out crowd, right?
It will happen, because one day I will main event the T-Mobile. It will happen. It's coming. It's coming. I am happy to just be here. I'm happy to just going to be keeping on winning. Everything happened for a reason. God knows why. I cannot determine when I fight, what number of fight am I on the fight card. I'm not entitled. I'm just here. I'm a guy from Bikita Mashingo that happened to have made it to the UFC. I'm just going to do my job, work as hard as I can in my gym, in the gym, and go out there, fight as hard as I can, and keep on winning. The more you win, whether you're winning on the road or you win at the Apex, your numbers keep rising. You know, when you get a contract, your contract does not say, oh, there's more money for fighting in front of the crowd or less money. You know, it's not like when I get there, when I have to main event one day, it's gonna be like something new. I've done this before when I was fighting in Africa, in South Africa, you know. So I fought in front of sold out arenas. I've sold out arenas myself. So when it comes, it comes. But for now, just enjoy the journey, do what and control what I can control.
I wanted to follow up. The last time we spoke after your fight, you brought up this point, kind of told a story that like after you lost, there's a lot of people back home that just kind of abandoned you and kind of looked down on you. Now that you're on a 2-fight winning streak, have those people come back around?
It must be cold in South Africa today. It must be cold in South Africa today. People's blood pressure must be like above, I don't know. Right now, I know, I don't wish nobody bad. I wish people to rise up and do something and be better. But right now, I know that it must be super cold there. Because a lot of them, they were hoping I lost. Because you know what? Then the crab in the bucket mentality comes back. Come back to the bucket. He does not deserve to be there. They think I'm mediocre. They are most, some of them make fake accounts and just go online and say things because people don't have guts to say things from their heart. So it must be cold in South Africa, especially. I appreciate the country of what it has given me before, the good and the bad, which is a very, very, very bold statement. But you know, there's a lot of negativity that I've been getting is because I'm the crab that got out of the bucket, and the crab mentality is real. I felt it, I know it, and people must. Those that support me that are there, I'm super grateful of them, and I know them from my heart. I know them one by one. I know I've got good intuition to feel and know things from my heart. You know. When I feel a person, when they overreach, you can see, you can feel it, and you can overreach. And some people are so stupid that they sometimes, like I say, I always will test you. I will tell you something, and you are the only person that know. And when I hear from somebody, then I know it was you. So it must be super cold there. I hope they get to enjoy the journey. Yeah, man, it is what it is. It's life.
And then last time I asked you, like, you know, obviously the UFC is planning on going to Africa. You said that, you know, you fought there so many times and you want to fight in America now.
I want to fight in Kigali, Rwanda. I want to fight in Kigali, Rwanda if I'm to fight in Africa. In any way, I want to fight anywhere else in Africa. Kigali, Rwanda, I would say in the countries that I would like to fight. There's a big arena in, the biggest arena right now in Africa that is closed down, that is 20,000 seater, is in Egypt. You know, Egypt has got a rich history, but you know, I want to be like fighting in one of those countries, or Senegal. Senegal is got the biggest arenas in Africa right now, and you know, if the UFC wants to go to Africa, in a way, in a realistic way, they need something like a royal, what do you call it, Rambo in the jungle, right? Kind of vibe. So they have to be in a place where it's easier for people to go to, where all African people can go to. If it's just a thing that I know because I'm from there, to get a visa to go to other countries is very difficult. Kigali, Rwanda is the only country in Africa that nobody needs a visa to go to. So when you see Angodana, tell him that, and it's a country that actually supports sport and sponsors sport, and they sponsor Barcelona and all that. They would be so glad to bring something like UFC to the thing. And I'm working on something to try to get to Rwanda, to get sponsors in Rwanda too. So I'm not campaigning for president in Rwanda, but I am campaigning to be an adopted son. I'm Zimbabwean through and through, but I would like to fight in Kigali, Rwanda, headline a fight night if it's a possibility. We're fighting in Egypt. Has got the biggest arena. It's 20,000 seater, closed down stadium, and Kigali arena I think is 15,000. Then there's one in Senegal that is like a 15,000 to 16,000 seater. Yeah, it's just my preference as a person.
Do you think Dracus versus Izzy is a big enough fight to bring to Africa?
Yeah, man, it is a big enough fight to bring to Africa. Any fight is big enough to bring to Africa. My main is Easy. Obviously, I love Easy, but yeah, like right now as it stands, I would advise Easy to, yeah, to fight whoever he can fight, because you know what, like he's the biggest superstar in the UFC, right? He's my brother. I love Easy, and like I said yesterday at the press conference, respect to the other guy, Dricus. I don't have nothing against him until like I met him few weeks ago at the Apex. I'm talking to him in the bathroom, we cool, then we went outside, I'm trying to fist pump him, he ignores me. That was kind of a diss, which is, tells you, because the friends were there, you know. But yeah, he's a champ. Champs do what they want. It is life. But yeah, screw him.
Love it. Thank you so much for your time. I love talking with you after the fight. It's something I look forward to. If you want to plug your social media, you want to plug any sponsors, you want to thank anybody, you got the final word.
Oh yeah, I want to thank my sponsors, man. Mukuru, Riz Pharma, Zoa, you know, Project Rock. You know, it's a blessing to have people supporting you. My man John Rogo from Riz Pharma. It's a blessing to have everybody, you know, that is supporting me truly, and you know, the future sponsors too. There's more coming, that we're just waiting for this fight to happen. You know, the sponsors will be like, let's wait for your fight. And yeah, man, it's a blessing. It's a perfect timing for me as well, you know. People were on standby, now the fight I won, big things coming, and life is gonna be great. You know, I'm gonna go out there to my country now and do great things, inspire a lot of my people of my accent, if you will.